Savage Dragon 100 from June of 2002. At last, the long-awaited 100th spectacular issue featuring guest stars galore. 100 big pages, also serving as the 10th anniversary special for the series. Erik Larsen likes to go big for these special events, starting back in issue 25, which was a double-sized 48-page special. Same with issue 75. But issue 50 was the first 100-pager. So let's get a look at that price tag, maybe calculate some inflation here. So $5.95, it's about $6 for 100 pages. And then issue 100 was $8.95. So that's $3 more just 5 years later. Then 15 issues later, another random 100 pager, actually starting to go down in price, $7.95. Then another drop for issue 150, the best bargain in comics, only $5.99. But it's back the other direction. In 2014, issue 200 was $8.99. Then it seems to plateau at $9.99. About $10 for every single 100 pager that followed. Well, look how much comic is here in just these 10 books. And this isn't even including the other oversized specials like issue 125 and issue 175, randomly issue 132. It's over 1,200 pages of comics you're seeing here. More than some creators can pull off in their careers. Larsen has beat that with just the dozen comics you saw there. So, that's slightly disingenuous, though, because Larsen would be the first to tell you that he had plenty of help with these issues. Many names you'll recognize, many that you won't. But these oversized books are just a gargantuan undertaking, requiring large amounts of time and effort, meticulous planning from the top down. But enough yakking. Let's get to issue 100 here. Oh yeah, before I do, I'll mention that this is the last time we'll see the retro trade dress, that Image Comics group banner there. We'll be ditching that next issue. And there's also a variant cover for this issue with Jennifer and Angel Murphy. All right, so credits: Erik Larsen, story and art; Chris Eliopoulos, letters; Ruben Rude and Abel Motown, colors; and Josh Eckhorn has spent the last 10 years driving in the slow lane in a blue Civic with a brown door and his left turn signal blinking. So cool. The Choice is the title of our story. Two worlds. One, the planet Dragon called home. The other, a savage world he tried to tame. Last we left off in issue 99. After dumping the evil twin, the Dark Dragon, into the void, Dragon Prime has less than 24 hours to decide which world he will call home. So while he debates, Officer Alex Wilde asks him, "What did you expect?" Certainly not this. Pretty crazy reveal. Every inch of this page is just crammed with heroes. Special Operations Strike Force training in their danger room, so to speak. Hercules and Jennifer are actually married, and this is upsetting to Dragon. But then Alex reminds him that his wife was killed by Dark Lord. So this Jennifer is like from another alternative reality, one of many. But she's a different woman than the Jennifer Murphy that the Dragon knew. So who else is here? We got every member of Freak Force. This version of Mighty Man here is actually Dart, if you remember that whole deal. You got the Deadly Duo, Brute Force. I think if you zoom in, you can see one of Earth Girl's boobs popping out. I didn't catch that, but like some other fanatic mentioned it. So this issue is like a Where's Waldo book for like every character that the fans have been writing letters about. And I read all the ones that get printed, and I can't imagine how many times people just ask Larsen, like, where's this character? When will we see Powerhouse? What the hell's he doing these days? Well, here he is, Powerhouse. And, people also ask, like, hey, where's Dragon's son Malcolm? Well, funny you should ask. Here he is. Dragon gets to have a long overdue father-son chat with Malcolm, who is justifiably suspicious of this dude just walking in and saying he's his dad. And he's also understandably confused by the story that Dragon tells him, recapping the bizarre events that have led to this point, including the death of his mother, Rapture. So this does not go over well. Malcolm has been raised his entire life by an alternative version of Rapture. that we actually saw back at that splash page there. Where the hell was she? Yeah, there's Rapture there. So that's an alternative version of Rapture that has been raising Malcolm of his own. So to this 5-year-old kid, his mother is alive and well, and this new dragon, he's a goddamn liar. So he strikes his dad repeatedly and tells him to go away. So this was a disaster. And Dragon and Alex fly back to Chicago. She can't believe what he's done. She's like, what the hell were you thinking, man? And he doesn't have a good answer. Dragon just kind of being too honest with his son. But now Malcolm knows the truth, and this sets in motion some very critical events for the young dragon. So they make a visit to the old Chicago police station. And as you can see, Frank Darling has put on some LBs. He might weigh as much as his wife now, but that's what a sedentary lifestyle will do to a guy. And the police, like Frank, have had it easy after all the freaks lost their superpowers back in that Negabomb explosion in issue 75. And that includes freaks like She-Dragon, a.k.a. Amy Belcher. You see her in her human form there. But she's joined the Chicago PD and is married to Howard Neisman. So I guess she's Amy Neisman now. Anyway, goddamn, this thing moves fast because now the portal that would send Dragon back to the Savage World, that has opened up earlier than expected. And Dragon believes that this means that the heroes on the other side are in trouble or maybe under attack. And so he's compelled to return. And Alex tries to stop him, reason with him, but he dives in. Very smart of Larson there to breaking the panel border for the first time this issue. And that's pretty cool because like Dragon is literally escaping from one dimension into another. So I also want to call out that what a terrible deadbeat dad this man is. Talk about abandonment issues. Dragon hasn't seen his son in years. Then after one conversation, he traumatizes him, tells him his mom is dead, and then one page later, he's fucking off to a whole nother planet. So Father of the Year here. Another effective double-page splash. Every inch chock full of characters you know and love. Too many to name all of them, but Hercules has come to reclaim the Eternal Youths back to Godtown. He's got Powerhouse and Zeke with him. And it's just chaos. The Skyriders show up. The Retro Dragon, the Flash Mercury, here along with a bunch of other Johnny Redbeard creations. They join the fight. Liberty League is here. Each one just kind of punching the hell out of each other. Let's see. This pure madness, during which the portal is reopened in a last-minute attempt to bring Darklord to the Savage World, and a figure emerges just as the portal machinery is destroyed. So that's crap. Is that butthead Darklord here? No. It's Officer Alex Wilde. Dragon is surprised, but it's too late now. His partner has made a one-way journey to this new world, and there's no time to make sense of it as the battle continues and the body count goes up big time. This green guy just eats a ninja star to the throat, thanks to William and Rita Johnson. Most of the Eternal Youths and the Knicks-Men, they get decapitated and eaten alive by these crazy-looking monsters. Rex Dexter down here has a frickin' stroke wearing his battle tank armor. Just a mess. Christ, we got more heroes. I'm not naming all these assholes. It's every character that's ever been featured in Savage Dragon. They're all in this issue. And the battle finishes off panel. So we're given the results in a news report that the Savage Dragon and the Liberty League, they are triumphant, but at what a cost. So the portal is destroyed and Dragon is stuck for good on this Savage World. So is Alex Wilde, and she now realizes that the dragon doesn't love her and that she was only a contingency plan for him. So she's off to try and find Chris Robinson, the one that lives in this world, and to see if she can have a second chance at happiness with him. Leaving Dragon staring once again at the crater where his home used to be. And we got a cliffhanger, maybe a Crater's Edge hanger. We got Jennifer and Angel. They're alive. She says, "Honey, I'm home." And Angel says, "What the hell did you do to the house?" Not the end, it says down here. And that's a fucking understatement. We got 78 pages and like 10 more stories to go. So starting with, ironically enough, the end. The end of what? The end of the partnership of Super Tough and Young Tough. So each of these mini stories essentially takes a look back at the history of the Savage World. So now that Dragon has made his choice to live here, it's important to understand how we got here, how this world is different. And also different is the creative teams for this story. So each one of these will have a different inker over Larson's pencils, though this one just looks like Larson did this himself, though he does have future image publisher Eric Stevenson on colors on this story and some others. So this is the last mission for Super Tough and Young Tough, but it does not end in tragedy. There's no explosion that disfigures Young Tough, so he's able to join Youngblood, which he does. The end. So now for the power of Mighty Man, with the embellishments of Jerry Ordway on the ink here. And this story is one that we're familiar with. So Bobby Berman is the secret identity of Mighty Man. And then this is revealed by a local reporter. So Berman is attacked and hospitalized. And then before he dies, he transfers his power to Nurse Ann Stevens, just like before. But she never realizes the gifts that she was given until years later when Dragon shows up, and then he taps her wrist together. So, yeah, what else? It's kind of a dud story, if I'm being honest. Yeah, that's it, the end. Now, Breaking Point. This one inked by Bill Sienkiewicz. So this is about two heroes, Dart and Star. And then things go badly in a jailbreak. Originally, Mighty Man came in and saved the day, but there's no Mighty Man in this world. So without that intervention, Star gets his leg broken. Dart is nearly assaulted by this creep. But the Shark Man, Mako, a criminal, he has a change of heart. He chomps this guy's head off. Star ends up at the hospital, but Dart ends up on a deserted island with Mako, and we all know how that turns out. Next up is the Ravenous Rapture, in a turn for the worst. This one has inks by Bruce Timm, and Rapture gets revenge on her pimp. Yeah, so in another world, this is the moment when she meets Ricochet and joins Freak Force, but now it's just cold-blooded murder and life on the streets for Sharona Jackson. That's followed by a pinup, also by Bruce Timm. Dragon looking pretty tough. Next is Losing Control, inks by Tim Townsend, colors by Matt Tyree. This is the story of the Vicious Circle and how they outnumbered and defeated the Dragon without Freak Force to help him. So then, let's see, Antonio Seghetti, he is double-crossed by Cyberface, and then Cyberface takes control of the Overlord armor, compelling Seghetti to vaporize his own head. So that's pretty brutal. Let's see. Yeah, there's the panel. He gets him to vaporize himself there. Yeah, so Cyberface is now the leader of the Vicious Circle. More on that later. Now it's Possessed, with inks by Mike Royer. And we're only halfway through this thing, man. I'm going to sip of something here. All right, so. Yeah, inks by Mike Royer. This is the story of when Dragon was under the control of the Wicked Worm and a leech belonging to the Horde. You remember all that. Well, it went way worse here in Savage World. Officer Alex Wilde was killed by falling debris. And then the rock star Peter Clapton, also the wannabe vigilante Star, same person there. He's killed by the Dragon. Frank Darling, he loses his arm. Yeah, nobody can stop this guy, except maybe the Horde. He summons the Dragon to his hideout, makes him kneel before him, but the spell doesn't last, and he's able to overcome his possession. And so he clobbers the Leech Man, sending the disgusting parasites flying, revealing the figure underneath to be Fonti, the mysterious and powerful being who created Mighty Man as his champion. Anyway, they destroy all of these leeches, all but one, and Fonti fucks off, and then Dragon takes the leech into custody to stand trial for his crimes. That's an interesting twist. All right, here's a wonderful pinup by young Frank Cho. So what a dude. Next is Invasion with inks by John Beatty. This is the story of the Cosmic Cops and their attack on Earth. So Freak Force was able to defeat these guys, but there ain't no Freak Force on the Savage World, so it's up to Cyberface to stop these assholes, which he easily does, thanks to his ability to control anything mechanical in nature that allows him to eliminate the Cosmic Cops and take over Manhattan after the invasion is thwarted. Bringing us to Love Story. Inks by Terry Austin. Color by Val Staples and Matt Tyree. So this is the story of the relationship between Dragon and Jennifer Murphy on the Savage World. Because here, Dragon never met Rapture, and so him and Jennifer have like fewer obstacles preventing them from dating, which they do. Their courtship running through some familiar storylines. Here's Dragon recovering from his run-in with the Fiend, where he had all his bones broken and he was stuffed into a smokestack. And let's see, they move in together, one big happy family. And then here he is with those skinny arms that he had after returning from his trip to hell. And then later, Angel is kidnapped by the Arachnid, which scares Jennifer enough to leave Dragon a Dear John letter. I'll read that verbatim here. She says, "Dragon, I know you want to stay here in Chicago and fight the good fight, but I can't stay here anymore. I need to do what's best for Angel. Save the world, make Chicago safe again. I'll be back. I love you. Jennifer. P.S. Take care of my house." And then on cue, the Martians show up, and they just destroy everything, leaving a smoking crater where a home used to be. Then here's one of the most gruesome versions of the Dragon I've ever seen, man. He looks like a demon here in this pinup. Frank Miller, the artist. Pretty obvious. And another piece here by Carlos Pacello, followed up by Martians Attack. Not much here. So Liberty and Justice, the children of Super Patriot, they go searching for their father during the Martian attacks. The Martians are defeated by Cyberface, but Liberty is still the victim of assault and will become the mother of the Martian human hybrid Dark Lord. And then, of course, Super Patriot, he remains under the control of Cyberface. And that just leaves Life's End, the final story by Eric Larson with Walt Simonson inking, Chris Aliopoulos letters, Ruben Rude, Abel Motown on colors. The gang is all here for the final battle between Baby Dark Lord and Dragon of the Savage World. So Baby Dark Lord actually wants to be killed. It's all part of their master plan to swap Dragon's consciousness from the Image universe. We have these swirling realities and minds, Dragon leaping through barriers of time and space in this 2-page spread, Dragon crushing Baby Dark Lord's skull, leading to a very familiar scene right where we left off in issue 75, a fiery rebirth in a field of flames, where we started this journey into this savage world. On to Fanatics. Christ, we're not done with this one yet, man. I'll keep it short. So Larson thanks all of his collaborators for the opportunity to work with them. He thanks the fans for sticking around 100 issues. Here's to 100 more. Notably, Augie DeBleck Jr. and Olav Beamer, they combined forces once again, penning a single letter by the two most infamous Fanatics. They knew that their notoriety would land them a coveted spot on the shortest letters page ever, just a single page. Pinup by fellow Image founder Mark Silvestri. And we got 3 more strips, if you can believe it. Larson just using every part of the buffalo here. 100 pages, not a single advertisement. This is Savage Comic Bits by Chris Giarrusso. Dragon has a secret mission, ruined by the G-Man, and ends up with Dragon's arms getting blown off, which is unfortunate for G-Man because he wanted an autograph. Here's Savage Tales, The Celebrity Roast by Nick Darrington. And another Desperate Times strip. This is like the second time that Chris Eliopoulos has revived this comic temporarily. Will it be the last? And it is the last. Except for this badass Dragon Bonanza by Arthur Adams. We got 2 dozen versions of the Finhead on here, from Robo Dragon to Ninja Dragon, Dino Dragon, Dragon Dragon. And that's all for this incredible 100th issue. Thanks for making it to the end. As for next week, it does not take a genius to know what comes next. It's simple. Savage Dragon 101. Adios.